Hey everyone, welcome to another deep dive. And this time, we're going to tackle Tesla's Q3 earnings.
Yeah, lots to talk about.
Yeah, we got a ton of market analysis predictions, even some of that, crystal ball gazing,
Always fun.
trying to predict the future. But really, I'm excited to dig into this and see what we can uncover
Yeah,
together.
cut through the noise, right? What's the signal here?
Totally. And, one thing that really stood out to me going through all these sources was this talk about a potential lower priced Tesla.
Uh-huh.
Is this finally the Model 2 we've been hearing whispers about? What do you think?
It's definitely the hot rumor. It's interesting strategically, right? If
Uh,
they can hit that price point
yeah,
for a real EV, it's a game changer.
totally.
Huge growth potential and puts pressure on the competition.
Absolutely. Okay, well, let's jump right in. This Tesla earnings preview from mubizjames.substack.com. They do a great job breaking things down.
Yeah.
And they start by kind of looking back at Q2,
Right.
which was kind of a roller coaster ride after those,
Yeah, for
sky high
sure.
expectations, right?
Yeah, the market was definitely on a high with Tesla, but when they missed those earnings per share estimates, the stock took a hit. So investors, I think, are coming into Q3 a little more cautiously.
Yeah, it seems like it. All right, well, here's something that jumped out at me. They said if Tesla hits its projected revenue for Q3, it would be their first year-over-year operating income increase in 6 quarters.
Wow.
What does that tell us?
It's a big deal. It's not just revenue, it's a sign of sustainable growth potential,
Hmm.
right? Tesla's been laser focused on ramping up production,
Right.
streamlining processes, cutting costs, and this could be a sign that those efforts are paying off.
Yeah, it's like proof that something's working right.
Exactly, tangible result.
Okay, and the article really stresses gross margin and profit margin exceeding expectations.
Uh-huh.
Can you remind us what the difference is, again, for those of us who aren't finance wizards?
Sure. So think of gross margin as the profit on each car
Okay.
before you factor in all those other costs of running a giant company like Tesla. Profit margin is the bottom line after all the bills are paid, R&D, marketing, the supercharger network.
So if both margins are healthy, it shows they're not just selling a lot of cars, but selling them efficiently.
Exactly. Managing costs well, which is crucial in this competitive market, especially if they want to make that lower priced car a reality.
Which we all want, right?
Right.
All right, speaking of exciting new products, the Cybertruck.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, it's so futuristic, right? It
Yeah.
seems to divide people. But the article mentions it's commanding a really high average selling price,
Interesting.
which, could have a real impact on their bottom line.
Yeah, the Cybertruck, it's bold, it's polarizing, but that premium price tells us a couple things.
Okay.
First, they think they can find that niche market,
Yeah.
willing to pay top dollar for that unique EV experience.
It's like they're not afraid to be different.
Absolutely, and they're betting there's a market for it.
But is it just about being different, or is there more to it?
It also really reinforces their brand image as an innovator, as luxury, not just another car company, pumping out mass market vehicles and that high selling price. That feeds those profit margins we were talking about,
Yep.
allowing them to invest in future projects and, maybe make those lower priced EVs a reality.
So the Cybertruck is like their high roller funding their big dreams.
You could say that.
Hmm, I like it, all right. And let's not forget their energy storage business.
Right.
The article mentions huge growth
Huge.
with revenue doubling since December 2022.
Wow.
I mean, that's a whole different ball game compared to making cars, right?
Totally. And strategically, it's smart.
Yeah.
The world is shifting to renewable energy. The demand for storage is going to explode, and Tesla is perfectly positioned.
They're ahead of the game, right?
Yeah, and there's synergy there.
How so?
More EVs means more need for efficient, reliable energy storage. They already have the Powerwall for homes, the Megapack for utility scale storage.
Right.
They can even create a closed loop system down the line. Cars powered by energy stored in their own batteries.
That's fascinating. Okay, so we've got this possibility of a more affordable EV,
Uh-huh.
the Cybertruck making waves, and the energy storage business booming. Are we looking at a sustainable energy giant in the making?
It's a big question.
Yeah.
And a lot of analysts are trying to answer it. The article highlights a whole range of opinions,
Yeah.
from cautious pessimism to wild optimism.
Yeah, it's like everyone's trying to figure out, is Tesla about to take another leap forward or are they going to stumble?
Right.
It's
Yeah.
interesting. Before we get to the predictions, can we unpack some of these contrasting viewpoints?
Yeah.
Like the article mentions Morningstar's fair value estimate being much lower than Wedbush's outperform rating.
Right.
What does that even mean for the average investor?
Yeah, analysts speak. It can be confusing.
It really can.
Fair value is basically what Morningstar thinks Tesla stock is actually worth based on their models and projections.
Okay.
Their best guess at the intrinsic value.
So not necessarily what the stock is trading at right now, but what they think it should be worth.
Right. Wedbush's outperform rating means they believe Tesla will do better than the average stock.
So one's about intrinsic value, and the other is about future performance.
Exactly.
Okay, no wonder there's so much debate.
Right.
And then there's the technical analysis. The article gets into talking about price points and this potential for a short squeeze.
Yeah.
Can you break that down for us?
So technical analysis, think of it like reading tea leaves.
Uh-huh.
But for stock charts,
Okay.
analysts look for patterns in the price movements, trying to predict where the stock might go next.
Like a weather forecast for stocks.
Exactly. And those key price points, they're like support and resistance levels.
Okay.
If the stock breaks through, resistance could mean a surge of buying activity driving the price up.
Interesting.
And that's where the short squeeze comes in.
Okay, I'm listening.
So imagine investors betting against Tesla. They borrow shares, sell them hoping to buy them back cheaper later and pocket the difference.
Okay.
If the stock suddenly surges, those short sellers are in trouble.
They got to buy those shares back to cover their losses.
Exactly. And that drives the price even higher.
Sounds like a wild ride.
It can be. And the article even has some post-earnings trading strategies based on whether the report beats or misses expectations.
It's like a playbook for navigating the chaos.
In a way. But remember, investing always has risks. No strategy is foolproof.
Solid advice. Okay, we've covered a lot of ground in this first part of our deep dive.
Yeah, we have.
We've explored the buzz around a lower-priced Tesla. We looked at the Cybertruck's impact and uncovered the potential of their energy storage business.
Absolutely.
And we even decoded some Wall Street jargon.
Always helpful.
That is, hashtag TTS, the Deep Dive episode 2024-1103, part 2 of 3.
It's wild how much we covered in that first part, right? It's clear Tesla is playing a whole different game with their business strategy.
Yeah, it really does feel like 3D chess with the lower-priced model possibility, the Cybertruck, and then the energy storage piece.
Absolutely.
It's like they're juggling so many big ambitions at once.
Yeah, and you touched on something before we left off that's really interesting.
How's that?
This idea of Tesla becoming more than just a car company.
Right.
I mean, that was a key takeaway from these sources. Their diversification into energy storage, solar, even AI with their self-driving technology.
Yeah.
It really makes you wonder about their long-term vision.
It does. What are they aiming for?
Right. Are they trying to be like a one-stop shop for everything sustainable?
Almost like the Apple of the energy world.
Exactly. And remember, the article highlighted that energy storage market is booming.
It is.
Revenue doubling for Tesla since December 2022.
That's huge.
It is. It's smart, especially as the world is like scrambling for those renewable energy solutions.
So it's not just smart, it's potentially, what did you say, synergistic.
Yeah, think about it as EVs become more common.
Right.
The demand for efficient and reliable energy storage is going to skyrocket.
Of course, makes sense.
And they're already ahead of the curve.
They are.
Powerwall for homes, Megapack for utility scale storage.
Yeah.
And they could even create a closed loop system where their cars are powered by energy stored in their own batteries.
That's mind-blowing. Okay.
Yeah.
But diversification can be tricky, right?
Well, it's not always easy.
They're getting into some pretty complex markets.
Absolutely. New markets, new challenges, competition from the big players, regulatory hurdles, and always the risk of the unexpected.
So they're walking this tightrope, balancing this innovation and expansion, but they need to manage risk and stay profitable.
Right. And don't forget, the EV market is getting crowded.
It is.
Legacy automakers are finally waking up,
Yeah.
and there's a ton of startups all wanting a piece of the pie.
So how's Tesla responding to all this pressure?
They're doing what they do best, disrupt and innovate.
How so?
Pushing the boundaries of technology with their self-driving systems, exploring new battery chemistries for longer range and faster charging.
Yeah.
They're constantly refining their manufacturing to be more efficient. It's like they're running a marathon at a sprint's pace.
That's a great analogy. And they have that secret weapon, right? The supercharger network.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine road tripping across the country and not having to worry about finding a place to charge.
It's a huge advantage. They're not just selling a car. They're selling an experience, a lifestyle.
It's very clever. It seems like they're thinking long-term, building a brand that means electric mobility and sustainable living.
Right.
But staying ahead isn't just about tech, is it? They got to keep those financials healthy too.
That's key. Remember those margins we talked about? Gross margin and profit margin.
Yeah.
Those are crucial for understanding Tesla's financial health, our
Uh-huh.
ability to fund all these ambitious projects.
Hmm.
They've got to stay profitable to invest in R&D,
Right.
expand production, and build out that infrastructure.
It's almost like they're juggling flaming torches while riding a unicycle on a tightrope.
I like that.
It's a lot.
It is. And that brings us back to this Q3 earnings report.
It does.
What should we be looking for when those numbers come out?
All right, I'm ready. Give me the inside scoop. What are those key data points that'll tell us if Tesla is firing on all cylinders?
Okay. So first, earnings per share.
All right.
Did they meet, beat, or miss analyst expectations? That's often seen as like the overall performance indicator.
So did they make the grade or fall short? That's hurdle number one. What else?
Then revenue growth. Are they still expanding at a good pace? That tells us how well they're grabbing market share and scaling their operations.
Basically, are they still the rising star? Okay, what else?
Gross margin is super important. Is it holding steady or even better improving? That'll tell us how well they're managing those production costs, especially with the pressure from competitors who are offering lower-priced EVs.
Yeah, can they actually make those electric dreams affordable without losing profits? Okay, what about those exciting new developments?
Right, we need to see if there are any solid updates on that rumored lower-priced car.
Yes, are they going to spill the beans or keep it a secret?
We'll see. And what about the Cybertruck? It's supposed to launch soon, right?
It is.
So how quickly are they ramping up production? How's that impacting their revenue? Is it living up to the hype?
Okay, and what about their other big bet, energy storage? We'll be watching to see if that segment keeps growing like crazy.
Yeah.
Is it a major revenue driver now, or is it still early days?
So are they proving they can be more than a car company?
Right. And finally, we got to pay attention to their guidance for the future.
Okay.
What are their projections for the rest of the year and beyond? Are they optimistic or are they being cautious?
It's like they're giving us a peek into their crystal ball.
It is. But remember, even the best predictions can be wrong.
Right.
This earnings report is just a snapshot, not the whole story.
That's a good point. We need to remember the big picture, the long-term trends, and where Tesla fits into this whole changing world of transportation and energy.
Absolutely. It's like we're watching a movie unfold,
Yeah.
and this earnings report is just one scene.
A very important scene.
It is, but not the final act.
Definitely not. Okay, let's take a quick breather.
Yeah, catch our breath.
Absorb all this info, and when we come back, we're tackling the biggest question of all. What does Tesla's journey tell us about the future? What role will they play in shaping the world? Hashtag TTS, the Deep Dive episode 2024, 1103, part 3 of 3. Okay, so we're back, and we've really gone deep on Tesla's financials, their ambitions, even decoded some Wall Street lingo. But now I want to zoom out a bit, look at the bigger picture. What does Tesla's journey tell us about the future?
It's the big question, isn't it? If we kind of step back from the numbers and the stock prices, I think Tesla's rise really shows this massive global shift that's happening, a transition towards a more sustainable future.
It's like they're riding this wave of societal change. We're all waking up to climate change, the need for cleaner energy, and here's Tesla right at the front.
Absolutely. They're not just making cars, they're challenging the way things have always been done and inspiring others to rethink transportation and energy.
For sure. But they're not doing this alone, are they?
No, not on
There's
it.
this whole ecosystem growing up around these sustainable technologies.
Right.
Battery makers, charging infrastructure, even governments getting involved with policies that support green initiatives.
It really is. It's like a global orchestra tuning up.
I love that.
Tesla's playing a lead role, but there's this whole symphony of other players all contributing to this movement.
So that makes me wonder, will Tesla stay the conductor of this orchestra,
That's a good question.
setting the pace, leading the way? Or will they face disruption from someone new with even bolder ideas?
That's what makes this so fascinating, right?
Yeah,
We talked about the competition in the EV market. Those legacy automakers are catching up,
they are.
and all those startups.
Yeah.
Can Tesla hold on to their lead, or will they become a victim of their own success, inspiring others to outmaneuver them?
It's like they're running a marathon, and just when they think they're ahead,
Right.
someone new bursts onto the scene.
Exactly. Complacency is dangerous in this game.
Yeah.
They can't slow down. They've got to keep innovating, surprising us, pushing those limits.
So as we wrap up, I'm curious, what really stood out to you? What surprised you? Did anything change your mind about Tesla's place in the world?
Honestly, for me, it's the sheer boldness of their vision.
Yeah.
They're not just content with electric cars. They want to revolutionize whole industries, change how we live, work, and move.
That's ambitious.
It is, and whether they succeed or stumble along the way, their story is powerful.
How so?
It shows us what's possible with innovation, determination, and this drive for a better future.
That's a great takeaway for everyone listening, right?
Absolutely.
Even when things are tough, bold ideas and that pursuit of progress can make a real difference.
Couldn't agree more. It's a reminder to stay curious, keep exploring, and never underestimate human ingenuity.
Mm-hmm.
We have the power to shape the future.
Well said. Well, that brings us to the end of our Tesla deep dive. But like you said, the conversation doesn't end here. We've given everyone a lot to think about, and I encourage you to keep digging into these ideas. What role do you think Tesla will play in the future of transportation and energy? What's next for them? What other companies are out there pushing boundaries and inspiring change?
Great questions. Keep your eyes open, stay curious, and maybe you'll be the one to come up with the next big innovation that changes the world.
Maybe. Until next time, keep diving deep, everyone.